Hey, you know what? You got a minute? I want to talk to you about something in a very personal way. A lot of times when you have chairs like this at a conference table, or you gather with folks, or you listen to a news report or something on the tabloids, it's just something that goes out in a general way. But I wanted to speak to you about something very serious, and it's something I want to talk to you about personally. It has to do with Tiger Woods and what took place in that man's life in 2009. Tiger Woods was and is still the most famous athlete in all the world, the most recognizable, a billionaire, the first billionaire athlete. Endorsements from all these companies, Nike, $30 million a year, and all the rest of that. And an image put forth on his website with his wife and showing forth of a man that is a family man. That's the Tiger brand. Grace under pressure and focused and disciplined. And yet it was all shattered all of a sudden when one night, Thanksgiving, 2:30 in the morning, he goes out of his driveway in his car. We don't know all the specifics, slams into one thing, fire hydrant in a tree, and next thing you know, he's on the ground. Neighbor comes out reciting the Lord's Prayer. Windows are smashed. Well, he wanted to withdraw into a little cocoon and be private. He said, "This is my private world." But all of a sudden, within days, we're finding out. A woman discloses a 31-month affair. Other women come forward. We find out he's been involved in strip clubs, and he himself gives a statement and says, all right, transgressions, I've messed up here and there. But then he also goes in kind of a tirade after the tabloids and news media and says, this is privacy, you need to leave me alone. Well, is that accurate? See, when Tiger became a pro, that means he left his private world into the public, and the money he generates comes from the public, us. And then also when he took his vows to a woman of 5 years of marriage, having 2 children, it was in a public way. He vowed to be faithful for life. He even had a prenuptial agreement. But what do we learn from this? Everything was shattered. It's been a tragedy. Well, number one, think of this. Sin is deceitful. Sin tells us we can violate God's laws and there's no consequences and we won't get caught. Well, let's think about that. Look at Tiger. How about others? Think about individuals like Kobe Bryant. Remember the assault in the room, and then all of a sudden he lost the endorsements, McDonald's, Nutella, and his reputation shattered for years. Michael Vick, dogfighting, and all of a sudden the icon of Atlanta loses $110 million salary, goes off to prison, endorsements, and now he's trying to regain a career. Think about Barry Bonds, the baseball player, supposing most home runs of anybody, and yet now no team wants him. Would he ever even make the Hall of Fame? Chipper Jones, baseball player, all-star. Tragedy at a spring training, goes to a Hooters nightclub, shacks up with some woman, and then the next thing you know, she's pregnant. He ends up divorced, his reputation shattered. What happens to endorsements? And then how about this one? Michael Phelps wins the Olympics, top of the world. And then we find out smoking drugs and dope and all the rest of that. Kellogg's dropped him. There's a way that seems right to a man, the Hebrew Christian Bible tells us, but its end is the way of death. Let's learn from this. I want to just show you in closing this little fragment here of metal. It's wicked, it's hard to even hold. It's an IED fragment, an improvised explosive device from a friend of mine that was in Iraq. This is heavy. That device can destroy a life, and that's why our soldiers, they have to walk out on the minefields, and they got to, wherever they go, be vigilant, be alert, have safeguards, and they're walking because their life is on the line. I'm speaking to you personally today because your life is on the line. We need to walk through the minefield of life and be careful. We steer clear of these seductions and these allurements and stay on the straight and narrow path so our reputation isn't shattered, but we enjoy an abundant life.